All right, welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of the Moderately Interesting Podcast. Welcome back. Last week we talked about episode 1 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Aaron talked about the Star Wars High Republic series, and we talked a little bit about the Cosmere, which we barely scratched the surface on. So, how you doing, Aaron?
Doing good. How about you, man? How you doing?
Doing well. Today we're going to talk about the Justice League.
We're going to talk about Disneyland's announcement for a potential new park in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm. And this is coming from a quote-unquote Disney expert. And then we're going to talk about, I got some questions for you, so we'll throw those in. Some fun questions and the new Suicide Squad trailer. And just a reminder to the listeners, if you want to ask us any questions for the following episodes, please reach out to us on Twitter or via email. The Twitter handle is moderate INTE 3.
The number 3.
And then our Gmail account is moderately interesting 21, like 2021.
The number's 21
at gmail.com. Throw us some questions. Tell us how we can improve. And
you could just say hi, even.
Yeah, you can just say hi.
I mean, that's cool.
Compliments are always welcome.
Always.
So, yeah. All right, well, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So one thing we discussed last time was Tony Stark's, why isn't he, or we were kind of wondering where the money was coming for Avengers. Are they getting paid? Is Tony Stark, Mr. Billionaire man himself, paying them, or is it like grants, or what is it? Nonprofit? And Aaron did a little research on some net worth.
Yes, my research.
We started looking into the net worth of people.
All right, Mitch.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna run some numbers by you right now.
Okay.
Let's see. We've got Jeff Bezos.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Amazon.
Mr. Amazon himself. Mr. Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Because of our Prime memberships and whatnot, his net worth $180.6 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't remember his name right now. I didn't write down his name. What's the Tesla's guy's name?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, yes. His net worth, according to Google, $162 billion.
Wow.
Tony Stark's,
Mm-hmm.
Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. You know what his net worth is?
I don't.
$12.4 billion.
12.4 billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who are worth a lot more than Tony Stark was.
Right.
So my question for you, Mitch, is where Iron Man at?
The real life one?
Where real life Iron Man at?
That's a really, really good question. Where is he?
I don't know.
They got the tech. Elon Musk is launching rockets to Mars or wherever he's going.
Yeah.
He's colonizing the solar system. And he can't just make a suit and fly around somewhere. In that.
He's going somewhere.
Yeah, but not in the direction we want him to go.
No, definitely not.
And Jeff Bezos might be a little old. Well, I don't know.
I mean, hey, he retired. He's got a lot of free time on his hands.
He could at least invest in somebody else to be the next Iron Man.
Yeah,
or the real life Iron Man.
He could be.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact, Bruce Wayne, according to Google, estimated net worth $9.2 billion.
Okay. So where's Batman?
So at the very least, we should have a Batman, right?
Yeah, or Jeff Bezos could produce, if my calculations are correct, he could produce 90 Batmans.
I mean, at least like an army of Batmen.
Yeah.
An
Is
army of
that
Batman.
right?
We'd be
90?
we
No, 20. Wow, I was
okay.
way off.
That's I mean a squad of Batman.
Yeah, squad. Yeah.
A squad. I think that would be
I mean, one Batman can handle an entire like New York sized city,
yeah.
like Manhattan.
Yeah, I would assume Gotham is smaller than New York.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a Chicago size.
Chicago. Chicago, yeah.
But
So
yeah, so if he
we're
can handle that, and if you had 20 of them, think
I
of
mean,
the justice that would be served.
even if we had one Batman and one Iron Man, I mean think about what the world would be like with one of those.
Yeah,
One of each. I mean,
I
I
think
don't know.
that Jeff Bezos, if he funded 20 Batman, or I don't know why we're just basing that off of how much Bruce Wayne is worth, but I feel like Batman doesn't need that much money to get
I
started.
think I think Batman, the startup capital for Batman is much smaller compared to the startup capital needed for an Iron Man.
Right. And yeah, Iron Man or Batman, I don't think it's going to take that much money. So, I
I
mean, just
mean,
consider it like a charity.
look, we've got UFC fighters, okay? If Jeff Bezos would just partner with one of these UFC fighters, we've got a Batman.
All right, which UFC fighter would be Batman?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know too much about UFC if I'm going to be honest.
I don't either. But I did
Um,
want to say that I want Conor McGregor to be Robin.
okay, Conor McGregor is Robin. I'm okay with that.
He's kind of got the attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I would have to like UFC is like one of those things where I'm like, you know what, I want to get into that, and
And
like
you never do.
I have never ever had the time to like. Well, I think
Same.
part of the problem is it's a lot of their big fights are pay per view,
Yeah.
and yeah, your boy's not going to spend $75
No.
on a 2 hour event like that.
I'm with you on that. I will watch the highlights
Yeah,
just
for
because
sure.
they're all over the place. You can't really like get away from them. So you're kind of forced to watch them. But
Okay, wait. What if though? What if Jeff Bezos was like, okay, I'm gonna fund Batman, and we're gonna do a UFC tournament, and whoever wins the UFC tournament is theoretically the best of the best, and that's gonna be Batman.
well, I would tell you this much: I would be at the gym 10
Yeah.
minutes after that announcement.
Oh yeah, for sure. But all I'm saying is I would definitely pay for that pay per view match.
Oh, for sure.
Like that
That'd be
would
like
be
March Madness.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
I'd
yeah.
fill out a bracket. Like that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great, right? I mean, Iron Man. Like if Elon Musk wants to be, because I feel like Elon Musk would more likely be Iron Man than Jeff Bezos. If
Yeah.
Elon Musk is just like I'm Iron Man, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
I kind of feel like that's how it would go.
yeah,
Or it would be like it would be more of like a scholarly test or something, or like pilots. I feel like you'd need to be somewhat trained in aeronautics.
I think if Elon Musk is like I'm Iron Man, and then like a couple years later, Elon Musk is like I'm gonna sell my Mark III suit to the Air Force, and then like that's how we get our war machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I see IRL life going.
Right.
Of Elon Musk being like, yeah, like I'm on the Mark 7 now, so I'll just show you the Mark 3.
So can we call out billionaires on the second episode?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Elon
Hey,
Musk,
Elon Musk, come on, man,
get it
you can do it.
together.
Yeah, I mean, like SpaceX is cool and all. Like, to be fair, SpaceX.
Are you comfortable in your home in California? Are you in a hurry to live on Mars?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to live on Mars
Right, but would you rather live on Mars or have
or
a
have Iron
real
Man.
life Iron Man flying around?
I would rather have Iron Man.
Okay, so there's our answer.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't lie though if I didn't say, and I'm pretty sure I've told you this at one point a while ago that like one of my life goals is to host Thanksgiving on the Mars and or Moon.
You've never told me that, but that's a
Okay.
really lofty goal to have.
Yeah. I have like all the family over, and we're on Mars, we're on the moon, and we're like, all right, we got the turkey going.
Mm-hmm.
We got the
The freeze
Thursday night,
dried
yeah,
turkey.
Thursday night football. Like,
They're playing on the lunar base,
yeah, it's the Cowboys versus.
anti-gravity.
No, I mean it's a like a satellite feed from Earth of just like, yeah, we've got like that's where the moon would be like make more sense
Right.
for this kind of dream. But like, yeah, like, oh yeah, we got the Eagles versus the Cowboys going, and yeah,
That'd be awesome.
that would be awesome. But yeah, I guess I would rather take. I would definitely rather take Iron Man.
So priorities are Iron Man and
I
then
would if I were to put my
colonization on the moon.
if I were to put my priorities, it would be Iron Man, UFC fight for Batman,
Mm-hmm.
and then colonize the moon.
Okay. So Elon Musk as Iron Man.
Yes, that would be number one for me. What about you? What?
Fight
How would
Night.
you?
Sorry. Yeah. What's your question?
I would say, how would you rank it though? Like, where would you put your priorities?
Well, if I'm gonna just kind of talk about those three options there, I'm more of a Batman fan, so I would really like to see that fight, that tournament.
Yeah.
So that'd be number one. I definitely am in no hurry to get into space.
Okay.
I kind of would like to die on this planet, live and die. Space kind of freaks me out, kind of like the ocean. Like I don't know
Okay.
what's out there.
For sure.
The vastness of it just kind of, it's just eerie to me.
Right.
So
Right.
I'll just stay here.
Okay.
Whatever it is that kills off mankind, take me with you.
The sun.
I don't mean that in a dark way. This is my home. So
This is my home.
put that last and Iron Man right in the middle.
Okay. Okay.
But I do see, honestly, I think Elon Musk becoming Iron Man is almost. I mean, it's not impossible.
Right.
He could almost be there. I know he's doing the neurochip. He created probably
Yeah,
the coolest electric car in history. He's launching rockets. Just put all that together.
What? I mean, what are the odds that the neurochip isn't like his version of the arc reactor on his chest?
Or Jarvis, maybe Jarvis is
yeah.
talking to him.
That might. Yeah, he probably has Jarvis. You think he paid like Paul Bettany to like come in one day and like, do a bunch of lines for his
Just
for his
read
AI?
the dictionary and
Yeah.
just an AI that just sounds
he's got,
exactly like him.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
Or maybe Paul Bettany's just on speed dial.
I'm sure he's got that too.
Yeah.
Kind of a tangent right now, but if we get Iron Man, should we get mecha suits like Zords, Pacific Rim, things?
Only if giant alien creatures attack the planet.
Okay.
Which didn't happen until Avengers. So we at least have Iron Man 1 where he just is kind of figuring it out.
We got a while before we need the mech suits. I would say actually we should build mech suits first, and then we learn how to take that technology and compress it down into an Iron Man suit.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like, just imagine, like, I don't know, like, how often this happens, but, like, oh no, the bridge collapses. Oh, we got the Dragon Sword there, and it saved the bridge from collapsing.
It's got it resting on his shoulders, and he's just yeah. I can see that.
We got the Megazord. I mean, if we had the Megazord, this whole ship thing, stuck in the canal, no problem.
Easy. Yeah.
Just send the Megazord in.
Just a swift kick or a little nudge.
Yeah.
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 Or
exactly.
if you want to give him a Megazord shovel and make him kind of actually do some labor.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Mark me down as yes. Whatever proposition that is, I will vote yes on.
All right. So we have successfully called out Jeff Bezos needs to start a fight night / fight club / tourney to get Batman
UFC
up
tournament.
and running.
Yeah. I'm sure he can work with Dana White to get a UFC tournament going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Elon Musk.
Yeah. Here you go.
Elon Musk, we're calling you out.
Mm-hmm.
Be Iron Man.
Straight up.
Be Iron Man. Be the Iron Man, and we'll love you 3,000 for it.
And we'll probably call you out on Twitter, and you'll look
Yeah.
at our profile and you'll be like, oh, 3 followers. But this is serious.
This is serious work. Well, this is serious. We're deadly serious.
This is
Well,
new.
maybe not deadly serious, but
No, this is not a threat. No.
this is not a threat. No. But no, we're serious, Elon. Do be Iron Man. Be the Iron Man that the world wants you to be.
Yeah. We want you to be Iron Man, and I think the rest of the world does too.
Yeah. I don't know if the rest of the world realizes this yet, but I think they realize now that they want you to be Iron Man.
Yeah. And also, one last thing, I just needed to throw this in there because
Yes.
my brain was just kind of off in another place.
Go for it.
Iron Man 1, the very first Iron Man, you have his compadre, Obadiah, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, Obadiah
Steals his
Stane.
tech. Yeah.
Yeah. Warmonger.
I'm just trying to think who
No,
that might
that's
be.
not Warmonger. Ironmonger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know Elon Musk's businesses that well to be like, oh, that guy's definitely his Obadiah. But be careful about that guy then,
Mm-hmm.
Elon. Be careful, you know?
Yeah. Keep your enemies or your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Keep your friends rich and your
Is that
enemies
right?
rich, and like time decide which is which.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of in a league of his own, so he might not have heavy competition,
Yeah.
trying to take his tech. But there's got to be someone out there that's trying. So
Yeah. Hopefully, I hope
keep
so.
an eye out for him. Do it all in secret, man. You
Yeah,
can
go-
learn. You can learn from Iron Man 1
You can go into a cave and
not to share all your secrets.
and do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Go
Exactly.
to a cave.
Go to a cave. And I mean, going full circle, Elon Musk was in Iron Man 2.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. When they are doing like the do you remember he like races?
Yeah.
Like right before that, like they're in this like room fancy party thing, and Elon Musk is like a guy that he's like, oh hey Elon, or like whatever.
Oh,
He's like, it's like a cameo, but like yeah, he's in it for like a second.
I don't even think when that movie came out, I don't even think I knew who Elon Musk was.
I know I didn't know who Elon Musk was.
I wouldn't have recognized him. Yeah. I've watched it since then, but I must not have been paying attention during that part.
I remember because like I think it was like basically this time last year when I was locked in, quarantined. I rewatched all the Marvel movies, and I was like, "What the heck? That was Elon Musk right there."
Right. Yeah. Well, that right there is foretelling. I will say.
Do it, Elon. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
3, 2, 1. Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Yep. You heard from us. You heard that from us first, everybody. All right. All right. I think that's good to call out these billionaires.
Yeah,
as much
exactly.
As possible.
I mean, yeah. And
so, Aaron, did you see the Suicide Squad trailer?
I did indeed see the Suicide Squad trailer.
And what did you think about it?
I was gonna say, I think before we can talk about the Suicide Squad trailer, we need to talk about the Suicide Squad trailer that preceded it.
Okay.
Because go back a couple of years, 4 or 5 years,
right
when Suicide Squad trailer came out, that trailer looked amazing.
For the first one, right?
Yeah, the first one it looked so good. It looked like this is going to be the movie that puts DC back where it belongs, up top, trading blows with Marvel. It just looked like it was going to be this incredible, fun, colorful movie.
Right. And then?
And it wasn't.
Yep.
It wasn't that at all. Suicide Squad, if I'm going to be Frank for a second. You could still be Mitch, but I'll be Frank for a second.
All right, Frank.
Suicide Squad was awful.
Uh-huh.
It was so bad. I actually, like, at one point watching that movie, I walked out of the theater and just kind of sat in the movie theater lobby for like 10, 15 minutes before I came back in.
Thought about your life choices.
Yeah, no, I did. I literally was just like, what am I doing here? This is so bad. This is so bad. Like, I was just like so angry. I was just like, I like, and then I was just like, okay. And then I went back in and finished the movie. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie wasn't bad.
Margot Robbie was pretty bad.
Okay.
In my opinion. That's just, Like, I mean, like she had some cringe dialogue, some cringe accent that kept coming in and out throughout that movie. Hi,
Mhm.
Harley Quinn. Nice to meet ya. What are you wearing? That's lovely perfume you're wearing. What is that? The stench of death. And
How do you
you
think
know,
the new one's going to compare to that?
so that's kind of like the new one. I don't know if it's because of the first movie. I don't know if it's because, I don't really know what's going on. But the second one has not gotten me as excited as the
Mhm.
first one as the first one did. But I am 100% convinced that the second one is going to be a far superior movie than the first one.
Right.
Um, and I mean, like, the second one is being directed by James Gunn,
Hmm.
who has brought us Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. He will bring us Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Hmm.
Um,
Almost got canceled.
almost got canceled. Almost, yeah,
He's been through a lot.
yeah. And I'm excited for this movie.
Hmm.
The trailer looks fun. It looks like more fun. It looks like a more
Enjoyable.
enjoyable. I mean, like there are some parts that I'm like, kind of like, oh yeah, that looks kind of dumb, but I think like it intentionally looks dumb. Like,
Yeah. Like
right?
John Cena and his
John Cena,
toilet head.
yeah, John Cena, the toilet head, the guy, like bouncing a
Crocodile.
ball in the wall, like in like his prison.
Right.
I think they're just heavily embracing Jai Courtney. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, but then yeah, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the trailer, I mean, a guy gets eaten by a shark.
Yeah. I think the R rating is going to really help take it places where it couldn't have gone the first time.
Yes, I agree.
And then I also think that they brought on like Idris Elba instead of Will Smith. I would honestly rather have. I like that.
That's a good
Um,
swap.
yeah, I like Will Smith too. Nothing against him. But just as far as the movie goes, I
I
think
think
that's a really good swap.
I think when it comes to Will Smith, just the general public might have a Will Smith fatigue,
Yeah.
because for a long time he was in everything,
Hmm.
and I think yeah, just not seeing Will Smith is kind of like, oh okay, like we're doing something different, and I don't like, since Will Smith was in it, you knew the character Will Smith was gonna play. He was gonna play Will Smith,
Hmm.
and yeah, with Idris Elba, like it could be like this character could go in a bunch of different ways now.
Yeah.
I don't think they're playing the same character though. Uh,
Are they not? I thought they were both Deadshot.
Let me see. I don't know enough about the Suicide Squad and Deadshot to
Right.
confidently comment on that.
I think he is Deadshot, but I might be wrong.
He's Bloodsport.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, that's fine.
Bloodsport. So Idris Elba is Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Okay. I thought he was
Isn't it?
Will Smith was Deadshot, right?
Will Smith was Deadshot.
Okay. Well, I was wrong there, but yeah, that looks good. I like how they introduced quite a few new characters too. Like there's a huge cast.
Yeah, it's an ensemble cast, and it's gonna be exciting. Um,
Do
if
you do you
go ahead,
like Harley Quinn as or sorry, Margot Robbie as Harley
Harley
Quinn?
Quinn.
Like overall?
Um, it's a good question. I think Margot Robbie is probably the best Harley Quinn we can have in a live action world.
Yeah.
I so I did not like her in Suicide Squad.
Hmm.
I have not seen Birds of Prey.
Okay.
Um, so I don't know. I don't know if I like her or not. If
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna hold Suicide Squad against her because that was just a terrible movie.
Right.
But I'm sure if she gets the right director, the right movie, the right script,
Hmm.
like I'm sure she could pull it off.
Right.
And so I guess we'll see if we can how that's gonna work out in the end.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did see Birds of Prey, and I thought she was good in that, but yeah, it's kind of hit and miss with DC's kind of is kind of trying to
Yeah,
catch up with Marvel still, I feel. So
yeah, and I think
there's a lot
that's
of
the big problem.
inconsistencies.
I think that's the big problem is like DC. I think DC feels like they need to catch up to Marvel,
Yeah.
and they don't. They don't need to catch up. They can do their own thing,
Yeah. And I
and
think,
I think they're realizing that
yeah, I was just going to say that. I think they're figuring that out as they go.
because like yeah, like definitely in the beginning of this DC EU, they were clearly trying to play catch up. They did Superman, Man of Steel, and then they did and then they try to like cram a bunch into Batman v Superman, and then they try to cram a bunch into the original cut of Justice League, and like by that point, it was all over the place.
Yeah. The Justice League was kind of like forced. I know there was a lot of stuff that happened with the production of that,
Yeah,
but I
that
think
was
that, yeah, like introducing like an alien invasion, and they also introduced a bunch of new like lead characters with the Flash and Cyborg, and
right.
Aquaman hadn't had his solo movie
I
yet.
hadn't had a solo movie yet.
And
Yeah,
so everyone knows Batman, but nobody really knew Ben Affleck's Batman until Batman versus
right.
Superman.
Batman versus, and it was weird because that Batman was a pretty different Batman than what we're used to.
Yeah, so it was kind of like what's happening, and then
Right.
they just kind of expected you to just go with it.
Go with it because it's Batman.
Yeah,
Exactly. um.
and
Yeah.
Henry Cavill as Superman, I like him a
I
lot.
like Henry Cavill a lot. I don't. I didn't necessarily like him in Man of Steel, or yeah, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League. I always thought they were underutilizing him.
Uh huh.
And I've since then we have seen him in different movies, Mission Impossible,
Witcher.
uh, Witcher, so like a couple other stuff, and
Mm.
it's like, oh yeah, this guy is a really good guy, like good actor. He seems like a cool guy. So like I am definitely rooting for Henry Cavill in any future projects that he does,
Yeah.
whether they are Superman or not, because that is a big thing of if he is going to come back as Superman.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in the air, or up in the air, I guess, for
Yeah,
DC's future
I don't
casting.
know. I think he wants to come back if I've read that correctly. But if he's like, I don't want to come back, I can't say I blame him at the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
So leading into that, what you've seen a little bit of Justice League.
yes, I have seen almost exactly half of Justice League: The Snyder Cut.
Cool.
I have seen 2 hours and 8 minutes of the Snyder Cut. Um,
Awesome. What
and
part are you at? Just so I don't ruin it for you.
yeah, so I am at the part where, like literally, I started chapter 4. So they meet on the rooftop with Commissioner Gordon.
Hmm.
Um, they all leave. They go down to the building where they're Steppenwolf is holding the human prisoners, and he's looking for the third mother box. And Cyborg is like, leave him alone, because he's like beating up his dad.
Right.
And then like literally that fight scene is where I stopped and started recording our podcast.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so right, like literally I stopped right in the middle. I kind of pushed our schedule back a couple of minutes because I was like, I'm gonna like stop it right in the middle.
Hmm.
Um,
Is that the fight scene that is? I'm trying to remember where that takes place.
it's in like a warehouse
That's
building
right.
kind of a thing.
Yeah, and they all kind of team up for the first time.
Yeah, so like I'm like literally I think I paused it where Cyborg and the Flash are like running upstairs with the prisoners trying to escape,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh,
and
that I remember that now.
Wonder Woman is fighting Steppenwolf,
Yeah.
and Batman was fighting like another guy, and then he beat him, and then like he's on the bridge where Steppenwolf and
That's the
Wonder
one in
Woman are fighting.
Gotham. It's under the harbor, I believe.
Yes, yeah,
Cool. All right. So now I know where you're at.
yeah.
What did you think about the beginning up to that point?
Okay. Um, kind of going. I've gotten a couple of notes here. Let me.
Yeah.
The first thing right off the bat is I don't get the 4:3 aspect ratio.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
I don't like. I get where they're like, this is Zack Snyder's artistic vision, and like we are honoring that. I don't see the benefit of it, and I'm sure some film student, film critic can argue and tell me why I'm wrong and how this was a better choice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Instantly, once I read that, I was like, "That's really dumb." And it's not like it's not as annoying as I thought it would be, but it is kind of annoying watching it.
Once you notice it for the first time, it's like, what? I thought something was wrong with like my TV or something, like
Right.
HBO Max, and I was streaming it from my phone, and I'm like looking through the settings, trying to figure
Oh,
out,
okay.
and it was just the way it was.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it on my TV, but like, like once that like, and it's not like a big thing either. It's not like it's like takes up the title screen where it's like, hey, by the way, this is in 4:3. It's like in a little box,
Yeah.
like a purple outline on the bottom. That's like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, this is gonna be in 4:3. Okay,
Uh-huh.
bye. Like,
Yeah, I had it on my TV too. I was streaming it, like casting it from my phone, and
uh huh,
it showed up in the square, basically,
yeah,
like in the middle of my TV. Because nowadays you're used to having the negative
16 by
space on the
9.
top and
Yeah,
the bottom, kind of
yeah.
spanning the horizontal, lines of your
Yeah.
TV. But yeah,
So I don't get what benefits that is, like that the aspect ratio is giving it. I If I can't tell the benefits of it, I don't get why you're doing it.
yeah,
So that's where I'm at right now. Like with that, I yeah, that was like the very first thing that was like, and it's like a bummer because like it's the very first thing you're gonna notice about the movie.
mm-hmm.
So like almost immediately it starts on a sour note
Right,
with that, and just yeah. Um, Going off my notes though, um, so like the one thing that kind of like my thought about it is it's I'm 2 hours into the movie of a 4 hour movie. I feel like I am now getting to the interesting part.
mm-hmm.
Everything else is a lot of build up. It is like 2 hours of explaining what the mother boxes are, 2 hours of like I mean like I guess let me go back to like to the very beginning of the movie
Mm-hmm.
because it's a 4 hour movie and I think Zack Snyder indulges in that runtime a little bit.
Right,
Um, because we start off with Batman, the ending of Batman versus Superman, and we get this scream when Superman dies, and this scream can be heard around the world.
mm-hmm.
That is like a 5 minute scene that keeps going, and it feels very long to me.
Right.
I don't know about if you thought that or not, or like, but like it just felt like that was a 5 minute scene that could have been done in 2 minutes. But since Zack Snyder had 4 hours, he was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna leave it in there."
Yeah, there was a few of those
Yeah.
in the whole movie. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and maybe there's more, like later on in the movie and stuff like that. But it just very much felt like, oh, okay, if this was a regular 2 hour movie, like we would have cut most of that scene.
Right. Yeah, it's all
um,
just kind of like, it's not even exposition. It's like,
it's indulgent. He gets to indulge in
yeah.
that. Um, and then like another scene that's like that is when Batman and Aquaman meet,
Mm-hmm.
and Aquaman's like a crazy Bruce Wayne and takes off his shirt and stuff and swims away.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the people outside start singing,
That one was, yeah, that was
and like
one of them too.
yeah, and they just keep singing and they keep singing, and like it is like maybe a 3 minute scene, but it feels way longer than that.
It's kind of awkward too.
Yeah, because yeah, it is awkward because just Batman's just standing there for like 3 minutes. Like,
Yeah. That one though, like that one kind of had more of a meaning to me personally, because I was like thinking, these people look at Aquaman like a god. and they're kind of
Right.
singing to him and kind of like holding onto his coat that he took off
Right.
as if he were, like, the savior of their land. It was interesting, but yeah, the song went on way too long. Like they
Yeah.
could have cut it in half, and I would have still got the same thing
You
out of
will
it
still
that I
get the
did.
same. Yeah. Again, I just think that this is like Zack Snyder just being like, oh, you know what? I've got either they told him, yeah, you get a 4 hour window, or it was just like he knew like he can put however much he wants into it, so he was just like, I'm gonna just leave it in there.
Yeah, make it
Like yeah, just
rain.
yeah. So yeah, there was that part too.
Hmm.
The other part too that I thought was maybe not self indulgent, but the first Flash scene, where he goes to the pet store for his interview.
Right.
Um, I actually really liked that scene. I thought it was done really well.
Hmm.
Um, where he meets eye contact with that girl, and then I mean, like that was the
Iris.
part that was the
Sorry.
part that kind of made me laugh of like how cartoony it was for a second of like the guy driving his big rig and
Trying to get
drops
his
his hamburger.
hamburger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drops his hamburger, and he's like, oh, I gotta go get my hamburger. I'm like, I don't know how many people are actually gonna drop their hamburger on the floor of their car and are still gonna eat it. It's like,
Yeah. And are
like
driving something that big on a very
yeah,
narrow street in the city with people all around.
yeah. That part is like, I kind of rolled my eyes at it, but then I was like, wait. Like the Flash is like very kind of like I mean, like maybe not like that, but like
It's
it
more of
kind
a
of remind.
lighthearted character.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it reminds me of like a Saturday morning cartoon,
Yeah.
and that might be what he was going for right there. And if so, then he did a good job at that. Like,
Yeah.
um, but like, yeah, it's just not something like that I personally like, but like I can appreciate that
Hmm.
in a way. But yeah, and so then he runs out and saves the girl, and that was all super cool. And I thought that was a really well done scene. I thought that was really cool and definitely unique and new to the Snyder Cut.
Hmm.
Um, but at the same time, I was like, but we kind of already got this in X-Men. Like the
Yeah.
slow down time and the cool music in the background,
Right.
and like the like
With Quicksilver.
with Quicksilver, yeah, with Quicksilver, like in both X-Men Days of Future Past and Apocalypse.
Yeah. The scene
Like,
from Days of Future Past where it's got the music, like in the cafeteria, I think.
yeah,
That one was almost the same. It wasn't that one was longer, obviously, than the one in the Justice League, but the moment, actually, I don't know if you've gotten to that point, but in the battle that you're at right now, there's a scene with the Flash where it slows down and he's kind of like taking in the details of stuff,
right,
like his surroundings. And like in that scene where they first introduce him, he's kind of like holding the girl's face and like basically just checking her out. It's kind of creepy, but it's also like they had a moment too, so it's not
right,
that creepy.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it was kind of copied from
yeah. I mean,
Quicksilver.
I don't know if it was just directly like I don't. Yeah, I don't know if that was just like a copy or like however that is, but it definitely, at least for me, was just like, oh yeah, this is like the Quicksilver scene,
Yeah.
and I wonder if that is going to be a problem for anything that comes after the Quicksilver scene.
Yeah, I was going to say
Uh,
you can't really go in a lot of directions with those super speed characters
right.
because that's their thing.
Yeah, it's been like Fox did it and they knocked it out of the park when they did it.
Yeah.
Like, um,
And unfortunately that franchise, like the more like the cuz they did the X-Men like with Hugh Jackman and like the older ones, I guess. They're older now.
mhm,
And then they went back in time with James McAvoy and Fassbender,
right,
and those were I liked most of them, but there wasn't a lot of continuity, and it wasn't the best in my opinion.
right,
And they also got bought out by Disney, so
right. Yeah, and so yeah, I just don't know like going forward with Flash, Quicksilver, and any other
Yeah.
kind of speed character, how are they going to differentiate themselves from the two iconic scenes that Fox did
Right.
with the X-Men movies? And then like the other problem too is, and I'm kind of just thinking like right now, is like even Dash from The Incredibles kind of has some like cool, unique scenes.
Right.
So like it's kind of hard to like not do that either. Like when he runs on water.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like yeah, I it's gonna be interesting. I'm not knocking Zack Snyder right now, but I think it's gonna be interesting going forward in the future how we're gonna handle speedsters in movies.
Right. You also
Uh,
have the Flash TV show, which is different.
yeah,
Like all that stuff. Yeah. It's how are they going to differentiate from each other? I agree. Like, I don't think that it was necessarily a copy from the Quicksilver stuff, but it was
right.
kind of pushing that direction.
It, at the very least, if you had seen Quicksilver scenes, it would be hard not to be reminded of those other
Right.
scenes.
And I was reminded of it just like you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What did you think of so far of the new Steppenwolf?
oh yeah, definitely an improvement.
Uh-huh.
Like without a doubt, definitely looks better. Definitely looks more, I guess real would be like the word I would use for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like he at least looks like he is in that world, whereas Steppenwolf in the movie definitely looked like a CG character
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, I think the design is better. I like how his armor, like the spikes, I guess, are kind of like folding in and out constantly.
Yeah.
I like that effect a lot.
It's got like a Megatron
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah, that was cool.
Transformers. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like that. I like I haven't seen the original cut of Justice League since I saw it in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Was William Dafoe in the original cut?
No.
Okay.
No, I actually watched the original cut a few weeks ago, so I'm pretty
Okay,
fresh on it. So
cool.
he was not in it.
Okay. Yeah, seeing William Dafoe, like first when his like name came up on the credits,
Uh-huh.
I was like, wait, what? Like William Dafoe, Green Goblin himself? Um, yeah, and then like he would like he only had that little scene, but it's William Dafoe, so he like absolutely crushed it.
Yeah. One thing I will say with that is they did a much better job of setting up for the next for the next movies that were to come after,
Right.
which already are out. But like Aquaman, it's set up much better for Aquaman
Okay.
than the original Justice League did,
Yeah,
the
I can
original
see that.
cut.
I can see
And
that.
introducing William Dafoe and also the extended fight scene. Have you seen the one in Atlantis yet?
Yes, I just got there too. I think that's right before
Okay.
like that's like the scene right before where I ended up at.
Right. So you have like Amber Heard and her character. I forget her Mora, something like that.
Right.
She she has kind of a good moment in the Snyder cut because it actually shows her fighting and using her powers, which I don't think it does in the original cut. If it does, it was very brief. But
Uh-huh.
her power is to she can manipulate water. She can control water, and she
Right.
can like anything that's got H2O in it, blood. In the Aquaman movie, she uses an entire wine cellar and creates these little wine spears and spears the enemy with it. But she can do that, and in that scene, she's manipulating the blood of Steppenwolf and like bringing
Yeah,
his
that
blood out of him.
blood out. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah,
I kind of like thought like she was like dehydrating him, like dehydrating his like skin or something for a second. Like,
yeah.
yeah, that was
That is essentially what she was doing. Is just
yeah,
yeah, but it was with the blood, just taking the blood out of him. Um, and I think one that point right there with the new Snyder cut, he made the villain a lot more menacing and a lot more powerful, and he
yes,
also made a lot more of the support characters relevant to the universe as well.
yes, yes.
And
I
then
agree. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it definitely feels the Snyder cut. I'm only 2 hours in, 2 hours and 6 minutes, or whatever. It definitely feels more grand and more epic already.
Yeah.
It definitely feels, and it's kind of hard. And I think I will tip my hat to Zack Snyder because, like, I've seen Justice League the original cut, and I know it's about saving the Earth, saving the universe. So like the stakes are already high,
Hmm.
but he like has made the stakes feel higher
Yeah.
or more real. Like so, um, yes, I will agree that like everything kind of feels more grand, more like the characters feel more important, and the side characters feel more important.
Right.
Right now, though, I will say that I'm 2 hours. And I kind of said this already. I'm 2 hours in, and it. I feel like I'm finally getting to the good part.
Right.
Um, which I think is kind of I don't know. If I felt like it was rough getting through the first 30 to 45 minutes of the movie.
Hmm.
The first,
I agree.
yeah,
I think for me, part of that was that I've already seen the movie before with the original
right,
cut. And so
right,
this doesn't, as far as the premise of the movie, the plot, everything, doesn't really sway away from that as much.
right. If anything, it leans more into it.
Yeah, it gives you more detail, and it just, yeah, it just makes everything, in my opinion, it was better, much better,
Hmm.
because they give you those extra moments and it helps define what's going on. You're not left confused in like what's happening, you know.
Right.
Um, but it did feel long and sometimes boring.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
specifically, like that first 30, 45, maybe even an hour, it kind of felt a little like, okay, like let's
monotonous.
get going. Yeah. But like I will say, like once you kind of get past that, I do think it is a much better movie after that.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
can
yeah,
say
like
from finishing the movie that you will. I think you'll enjoy the last 2 hours.
okay, yeah. I mean, like I will say I have started to enjoy it. Like I've started to really enjoy it,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think I look for, and we'll talk about it more on the next episode.
Yeah, we want to
Um,
get into the Snyderverse. Should it come back?
yeah, like that's definitely where we want to go from here.
Hmm.
Um, I think next week too we'll kind of talk a little more just about Zack Snyder
Hmm.
in general, kind of his career, his movies, and yeah, the Zack Snyder universe. I think we'll kind of talk all about that more next week
Right. That's something I want to know more about. So
for
we'll ask
sure.
Aaron questions about all that stuff. He'll know. You'll know it all,
Yeah,
right?
I will pretend like I do if I don't.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited to talk more about that because I
Yeah,
think I lean a little more DC and I think you lean a little more Marvel.
yeah, I think so. I mean, it's really funny though because for the longest time, probably like right around when I met you for the first time, I would say my favorite superhero was Green Lantern.
Uh huh.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Spider Man, Captain America, uh, and I can't think of his name right now. Which kind of we'll cut that right here. But Spider Man,
Yeah.
Captain America have always been like some of my favorite superheroes.
Hmm.
And then like yeah, Green Lantern and Batman have been some of my favorite superheroes.
Right.
So it's kind of like hard for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely more of a Marvel fan. I'm definitely more of a DC fan. But yeah, I think
I say
generally
currently.
I was gonna say generally I lean more Marvel.
Hmm.
But yeah, when it comes to the movies, I don't really think it's an argument to say that the Marvel movies have been better.
Yeah. When I say I lean more towards
No, yeah,
DC, I think it's just
just like
because I enjoy them a little bit more. I like the
right,
gritty, dark tone that they've
yeah,
set.
and I get that. I mean, like, hey, the Batman cartoon, I loved that cartoon growing up as a kid.
Oh yeah.
I still own it today. Like, I have the HD re-release of it.
Uh huh.
Batman Beyond, that was awesome.
Oh
That was a
yeah.
great show. Justice League Unlimited, like those were two awesome cartoon.
George
Like
Clooney's Batman.
Actually, I don't remember which one. I remember I saw one as a kid, but I don't remember if it was the one with Mr. Freeze. With
Mr.
Arnold as Mr. Freeze.
Freeze. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was
remember.
my horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger accent.
I remember I saw that as a kid. My aunt and uncle took me to see that movie.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I don't. I think very few people actually want DC to not make good movies.
Oh yeah. I love the competition if it
Yeah,
exists. I don't even know if that's a thing.
yeah,
I think it is. But I love seeing what both of them can bring to the table.
absolutely. I am 100% looking forward to the Batman movie.
Yeah. What I don't want either of them to fail. I want both of them to give me a nice, unique, immersive experience
Yes,
that I can show my kids,
absolutely,
you know.
absolutely,
And I think
absolutely.
Marvel has done that. I think DC is starting to do that now. They're whipping it.
Yeah.
They're getting it together.
I mean, DC has struggled, but hey, The Dark Knight,
Yep. You
that
can
whole
always
trilogy,
go back to that.
that's always going to be a thing.
Michael
That was
Keaton's
really good.
Batman is always a classic, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll talk more about the Snyderverse next time, and
yeah. Stay tuned,
yes, so stay tuned for that. And
Mitch.
yeah,
Let's talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
all right, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, to start off, Mitch,
Mm-hmm.
look at me.
I'm trying.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
I am the captain now, and that's basically this episode in a nutshell. I would say.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but not as intimidating
Not as intimidating.
as a
I mean,
Somalian
yeah,
pirate. I'm just gonna say that.
yeah, because this new Captain America kind of sucks.
Yeah, yeah, kind of is an
Yeah,
understatement.
I think they are doing a great job of having me not like him.
Yeah, can I say something about that real quick?
Absolutely.
So, one of my big takeaways is they did a really good job of, yes, making me not like the dude, but also from the beginning to the end, it was almost like watching Breaking Bad from episode 1 of season 1 to whatever the last episode is of the series, where
Mhm.
you like the character. You're kind of like when they start off in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you like the character, and then at the end of the episode, you hate him. That's how I felt. I didn't
Right.
necessarily like him, like rooting for him, but I was like, oh, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
He's got good intentions. And then by the end, I'm like, this guy sucks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Get the shield
Uh,
back.
Yeah. So let's kind of talk about our top 5 moments of that real quick.
Okay,
I'm gonna
you go
do
ahead and start it.
number 5. I am gonna go with Bucky read The Hobbit before World War II.
Oh yeah,
That was fantastic. I loved that. That whole little exchange right there was freaking great. But yeah, just the fact that Sam was like, "How do you know who Gandalf is?" And he's like, "Because I read The Hobbit
right.
in 1932
When it first came out.
Yeah, when it first came out, and I'm just like, "That was great. That was great." But yeah, that whole scene was really great. And like before that too, the reason why Sam is there is Sam is very clearly hurt and upset that that Sam passed on the shield,
Right.
didn't take up the mantle. So that was really great. Yeah, your turn. Mitch.
Yeah, that was good.
Number 4.
So number 4, this might not be. It's a good one. I really like the Sam and Bucky, just the dialogue between the two. Their conversations. Sure. They've kind of got a love-hate relationship where they'll do anything for each other, but they also like aren't fond of each other at times.
Yeah,
and you see that this whole episode.
I call this. I've had a term for this for a while. It's called a friend-in-laws.
Friend-in-laws.
Yeah, friend-in-laws, like a mother-in-law, father.
Oh yeah, that's a great term. It makes perfect sense, and you don't even have to explain it to me. But you can go ahead and explain what it means.
Right. Yeah. So like when you're hanging out with your friend, and your friend has their friend over, and like you kind of know each other, but you like this other person, you've never hung out with them, like just you two. You don't like, you might not even like be friends with them on social media, or you might not like have like their phone number even, so you don't like text them or anything like that. So
Right.
like they're friend-in-laws. We're like, yeah, we hang out and we're fine when we hang out with this person that we have in common. But like when they're like go to the bathroom or they are like not there, leaving you two together, it's kind of like this like awkward
Yeah.
situation for a little bit
For both of you, because it's
for
usually like
both
a
of you.
mutual feeling. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
what do we talk about?
yeah, exactly. And you're kind of like, we could be friends if like we put in the effort to like get to know each other,
Yeah.
but probably none of us are really wanting to put in that effort.
Right. Right. I like this episode how they deal with that with both of them,
Yeah.
because I really enjoyed Civil War when they're both sitting in the back of the Volkswagen
Oh yeah,
Beetle,
that's great.
and they're kind of bickering a little bit. Actually, I don't think they're both in the back, but
No, yeah,
I think
Sam is
Sam's
in
in
the
the
front
front.
seat
Yeah.
and Bucky's in the back because Bucky goes, "Can you move up your seat?"
Yeah.
And Bucky's like, "No."
No. And then he slides over, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're both kind of watching Captain America when he's
Yeah, and
getting
then Cap
yeah.
kisses Sharon, and then they both just smile and they both nod their heads like, "Yeah,
Yeah, and it kind of
yeah."
shows that they're not bitter enough at each other that they'll ruin a good moment like that. Like they're both kind of just they just have conflicting personalities. It just
Right.
you've met people like that for you where it's just like right off the bat you just don't necessarily click with them.
Oh yeah, I have a very weird thing where like I can tell almost instantly if I'm going to get along with somebody or if I'm not going to get along with someone.
Yeah.
Like for me, it is like within like a couple of minutes, like I can tell like, yeah, I'm gonna like this guy. No, I'm not gonna like this guy.
Right.
Um, so, um,
I think that Bucky is a little more aggressive with his attitude.
yeah, I think in a way too. I'm sure like in a way they are both threatened by the other one.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure for Bucky it is this guy took my place.
Yeah.
Like I was Steve's best friend. I fought with Steve during World War II, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and this guy has come in and taken my place.
And giving up the shield and
yeah,
all.
and I think in a way for Sam, it is like the opposite of like this guy is trying to take my place.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this before, where I think I think we're gonna find out that Steve offered Bucky the shield first.
Right.
I think Steve offered it to him first, and Bucky went, "No, I can't do it. Like, oh, I've done too many terrible things. Blah blah blah. Like, I would be a horrible Captain America."
Mm-hmm.
And I bet we're gonna find out that Bucky was like, "You should give it to Sam."
Right.
Because I do think if you watch Endgame, I do think Bucky knew that Steve wasn't coming back. Because when
do you think it happened before he went back in time?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point between, possibly before, or after, or during Stark's funeral, to Cap going back in time. I think Steve might have offered Bucky the shield and been like, "Hey, like I'm not coming back,
Mm-hmm.
and like when I do, I want you to take it over." And then I think Bucky's like, "I can't because of XYZ," and he's like, "I'm like really," and like I think kind of going back to like he goes like, "I'm really glad that you believe in me,"
Mm-hmm.
but like I think Sam should be. I think Sam was like, I think Bucky is the one who's like, you should pick Sam,
right?
And Steve was like, "Yeah, that makes sense actually."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I like going back to their banter and just their relationship between Sam and Bucky. I think that they did a really good job of setting the tone for this series, and and also continuing where they left off, which may be at the back of that Volkswagen Beetle. But that's something that I enjoy in these movies. I think it offers a little comic relief, and it also develops the characters quite a bit, especially when they're going to team up, when they're that's the title of the show.
Yes.
It's nice to get a feel for how they're going to interact with each other right from the get go.
Yes. And that's good.
They didn't meet up in the first episode, did they?
No, yeah, the first episode they were completely separate.
Yeah. So that's something I was looking forward to, is when are these guys going to get together? Because I like these
Yeah.
two guys together.
And I'm very glad that episode 2 wasted like no time in putting them together.
Yeah, it was
almost instantly. They just were like, "Hey, we're together."
Yeah.
And that's going to go to my first of all, great number 4 pick.
Thank you.
And I think that's going to lead very well with my number 3 pick, which is the therapist scene with Bucky, Sam, and the therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get some of that dialogue, but you also get a little more serious. And when Bucky says, because if he was wrong about you, that means he was wrong about me. Like, that really hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's very clear that Bucky is still trying to get over everything, and I can't blame him. Like, what he had to go through must have been horrible.
Mm-hmm. And,
and
Captain America was his only friend.
His only friend, the only one who believed in him.
Yeah.
You know?
He came back. Captain America came back out of the ice and didn't have any friends. And then Winter Soldier was basically brainwashed for 90 years.
Yeah,
whatever.
That whole time, yeah.
And so, yeah, just that. I mean, that was his support, and that was the guy cheering him on, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's unfortunate that he's not there, but and they're both kind of, I think both of them have an attachment to Captain America, and
yes,
they're both feeling the weight of his loss.
Yes,
whether he's dead or not, we don't know.
Yeah, and that is a good point. It definitely feels like Cap might have passed on.
Yeah. This episode made it feel a little more like that.
Yes,
but he might be on the moon.
He might be on the moon. He might be. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my number 3 moment. I'm gonna throw it back over to you, Mitch. Number 2.
All right, so my number 2 is kind of a deep one. I'm really interested in. Is his name Isaiah? Jeremiah?
Yep.
Isaiah, right?
Isaiah Bradley.
And then you had his son or grandson, Elijah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I am really interested in seeing where that storyline goes.
Yes.
Because I did do a little research on that character. I wanted to see if it was a comic book character or if it was just something they're throwing in to the show. But he is in fact
Isaiah. Isaiah is a comic book character.
2003, I believe. Him and Elijah as well. They're both.
Elijah was the Bucky.
Yeah.
Of that run, and Isaiah. Kind of like the show does a great job of kind of explaining his story real quick. Of he got the super soldier serum and he was basically Captain America for a bit.
Yeah. And he was kind of like, it was more of a, I'm trying to think of the word here, barbaric test rather than like, who's brave enough to take this serum. It was more of like, let's test it on a bunch of people. That's kind of what I got from it.
Yeah. It was definitely not as nice, clean,
Yeah.
However you want to put it, as like Steve's kind of first few days as Cap, or going through and being Cap.
But also the way that it was offered to him.
Yes.
It was not offered. It wasn't. It was kind of forced on him.
It was more forced on him.
Seems like from the way he's acting, and also what I read.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
It didn't really talk about it there.
Right. I don't know a whole lot about Isaiah's character. I do know about him before the show started, but like I didn't know like I basically what they said in the show is kind of what I knew about him.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if he is a bigger role or if it's just a because like they kind of use it to establish that they can make super soldier serum now.
Yeah, and they're trying to
Because
find out where that's coming from because they're
yeah,
seeing it in other places.
because Isaiah has it.
The Flag
Uh,
Smashers.
yeah, they have it, and possibly our new Cap might get it. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's a possibility.
He might already have it.
He might. I don't think so.
I don't
It looks
either.
like he got. I think he got his butt kicked pretty good.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Part of me is wondering, has he had it and he's holding back, or he doesn't have it? Those
I
are the
think
kind
he's.
of things I'm thinking of.
I think. Man, I think his desire to be like I want to be the best Captain America
Mm-hmm.
is gonna lead him to like take this serum.
His ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Captain America did not, the real one, did not have an ego. The
did not
dude
have an
was the
ego.
most selfless person. And you see it in the very first Captain America movie when he jumps on the grenade.
Yes.
This dude does not seem like the kind of guy that would jump on a grenade.
Well, yeah, and that was the point too. Is he like completely misses the point of that because Bucky asks him,
Mm-hmm.
or like how many grenades have you jumped on? He's like 7 or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I just put my helmet down on it, and it's like made to do that. It's like he completely misses the point of like the jumping on a grenade was not to like that's not what it's about to like your willingness to give your life to save somebody else.
Yeah. And that's what ultimately led Steve Rogers to get the serum.
Yes.
Because they were kind of observing him. And then they're like, hey, do you want to partake?
Yeah.
However they mentioned it. I need to go back and watch that one again, but yeah.
Yeah, this like the current guy completely misses the point of Bucky's question.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah, that's my number 2. I'm really interested to see where Isaiah goes and like the super serum.
Yeah.
Just all that I think is a cool, mysterious part of this series that we get to dive into.
Yeah, that's a great number 2. That would have been my number 1 if you didn't pick that. That was gonna be my number 1. So I will go for the final one, number 1. The little teaser at the end for Baron Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be really cool. We're gonna see. It's gonna be cool for a couple of reasons. One, we're gonna see Baron Zemo again. Haven't seen him since Civil War. The comic book character Baron Zemo is definitely way crazier than what we've seen in the MCU so far.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see if they start to lean into that a little more, or if they're going to keep it scaled back.
Right.
So I'm interested to see that. But I'm also excited to see Bucky explore his Hydra past a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's very clearly apprehensive about that still.
Right. Yeah, it's causing him a lot of grief.
It is. And I'm wondering if Zemo is going to try to reprogram Bucky again like he did in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if he's going to try it and, like, either, like, they stop him or Bucky's like, yeah, that doesn't work on me anymore.
Yeah. I'm kind of indifferent with that because they've already used it. But if there's other super soldiers out there that perhaps went through what Bucky did, he might be able to get an army that way too. There might be some kind of a hint there. But I'm really curious to see where his character goes. I like that you mentioned in the comics that he's a lot more crazy. I don't know anything about him in the comics, but
maybe like physically, I don't think he's crazy, but just like what he does, is like crazy. Like he is more of a comic book villain,
right?
If that, like he's more over the top, more just kind of
like how Lex Luthor is like
exactly
not as cool on TV or in the movies, but then you go in the comics, he's really cool for some reason. One thing to branch off that just a second with Marvel and what they've done, I feel like they've done a really good job with that. They've kind of made these characters a little more relatable at first, so you get attached to them, and then they bring out the crazy. And I think
Mm-hmm.
a big example recently is Scarlet Witch. I didn't
Yeah.
realize until WandaVision that they hadn't even said the word Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, they never called her Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
so it was like everything leading up to that was kind of like an introduction to her, and then she got her own spotlight in it, and then
yeah.
she became the Scarlet Witch, and now she's finding out what she's capable of. 'Cause-
Calling her the Scarlet Witch was like when we had to wait all the way until Endgame for Cap to say Avengers Assemble.
yeah,
Like they kind of like these like kind of things that we take for advantage in the comics. We have to like really wait for to see in the MCU, which
right.
is cool because we get to like it's like earned when they get to do it.
Hmm. And it's like an anticipation, and
Yes.
and if you follow the comics, or like I knew she was Scarlet Witch, but
Right.
I don't think I paid enough attention, or I don't think she got enough time on the screen as well in the other movies, to really notice that they hadn't mentioned Scarlet Witch until her
Yeah.
show.
Exactly.
And
She has been a sideline character for all of the movies.
yeah,
So when she gets to be in her own show, she really got to shine.
yeah. But I'm hoping that
Um,
Zemo gets a similar makeover, because I don't want to call
yes.
it a makeover. The similar development, because um, I wasn't as intrigued by him in Civil War. I know he kind of instigated everything. He was an instigator.
Right.
And then the fun part of Civil War was watching all the superheroes battle each other.
Right.
But I would like to see him and see what he's capable. He was capable of turning them against each other. I want to see what he's capable of with a smaller focus. Like what's he going to do?
Right. Yeah, I'm really excited. It seems like there have been. Have you heard about the rumors? Apparently, episode 5 of the show is supposed to be crazy.
I have not heard any rumors.
Yeah. That like literally that's all I've seen is
Mm-hmm.
just rumors that episode 5 is going to be a big, crazy episode.
Well, that's fun.
So we have that to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you want to end with some questions, or do you want to talk
Yeah.
about the Disney stuff really quick?
Let's talk about the Disney stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So last week, Disney unveiled their Disney Forward. I don't know if it's like a program. I mean, like they just released information about Disney Forward, is what we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have read that to mean that Disney is looking to make a third park here in Anaheim. And it looks like that's not exactly what they're looking to do, but I'm going to kind of like read a couple of different quotes that I've seen online.
Yeah.
This is all coming from the Orange County Register. But Disney will be asking the city over the next few weeks and months for more flexibility in how it develops land planned for specific uses in the 1990s, and to be able to add a mix of theme park, hotel, retail, dining, and entertainment on the eastern and western edges of the Disneyland Resort. So basically, they want to go to the city of Anaheim and they want to restructure their zoning permits.
Okay.
And it's really interesting because basically, like the way like they have them zoned off is like, okay, this area right here can be used for an amusement park. This area over here can be used for a hotel, and this area over here can be like used for retail stores. Like downtown Disney is like an outdoor mall.
Uh-huh.
And Disney is basically saying like, hey, theme parks don't work like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all need to be like considered one and the same, because we're trying to do like an immersive experience now.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they're like, yeah, like the quote right here: what we do today is that guests need and want more. In order to give guests what they want, we need more flexibility here in Anaheim. Guests are demanding more integrated experiences that are not singular in their use. We no longer think of their uses separate. retail, dining, entertainment, theme parks, and hotels are all part of the same experience in the same place.
Mhm.
And we need the space in our lands to create rich story environments.
Okay.
So I think like a big thing that like in Florida, they're gonna be doing that Star Wars hotel.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so they're gonna do that Star Wars hotel, and it's gonna feel like you're in the hotel. It's gonna feel like you're in a Star Wars setting.
Uh-huh.
And then my understanding of it is going to be is like you can go from your hotel room to some type of like monorail like thing or like a shuttle, and it's going to take you directly into Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars area of the theme park.
Right.
And so I think that's just what they're getting at here is like how like all of this experience are like leading into each other.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Galaxy's Edge many times over here in Anaheim,
Uh-huh.
and like you know, the way it works over there is like, yeah, there's the land, but then like when you're like, oh, I want to go get a snack or some food or whatever, like that Star Wars experience doesn't end just because you're in a shop trying to buy a toy or whatever, a figure, whatever,
Yeah.
or you're in the restaurant and you want to buy some food. Like that experience is all the same.
Yeah.
Um,
You can go to the cantina.
yeah, yeah, exactly. The cantina is 100% like, hey, this is the cantina, like not the same cantina from A New Hope, but like
Yeah.
you go into the cantina and like they have like the menu is all Star Wars kind of items.
Mm-hmm.
There is a droid there that is playing music, and so like we got Disneyland opening up in a couple of weeks. Florida is still open. But like if you go to those theme parks, specifically the Galaxy's Edge experiences, like yeah, you can't tell, like it's all one experience of like you go and you want to buy a Jedi robe.
Uh-huh.
Like when you talk to like the people who work there, it is like you are talking to somebody on the planet. Like they're like essentially like actors,
Mm-hmm.
and like that is their role. Is like my role is the merchant,
That's what
and
really sells it for me is
yeah,
I've been like I grew up in Utah and Lagoon was our theme park and
right.
they were just they're making $10 an hour, they weren't I mean, you had some more animated workers that were running the rides, but there wasn't like an overlying theme in that theme park or it's not really a theme park, it's an amusement park.
Right.
Um, but I mean, it kind of compares. You got roller coasters, you got rides,
Right.
and
Yeah.
everything. But
It's yeah, an amusement park. I mean, Disneyland is still an amusement park
yeah, but you go there
at the
for
end of the day.
different reasons,
Right.
and the people there really sell it in the Disney parks because they're acting. They're in a they're
They're integrated in the story.
yeah they're
Yeah.
they're in character the whole time.
Exactly. And yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool. While they're so basically what this Disney Forward is it's actually not a new park, which some kind of clickbaiting sites are kind of trying to say that it is. Let me read the overall footprint of the resort area would not increase in size. The immersive theme park Westside expansion envisions a theme park on the downtown Disney and Lilo and Stitch parking lots, woven amid the Disney Hotel, Paradise Pier Hotel. Disney officials described the West Side, bound by Catella Avenue, Walnut Street, Magic Way, and Disneyland Drive, as more of a theme park expansion than a new third gate.
Okay.
So they're not looking to make a new park, which I think at some point they might kind of talk more about a third park, because I do think that is kind of on the like. I think this is kind of paving the way for a new park.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, hey, we're not going to actually add any area. We just want to rezone the areas and make stuff, more, because there are stuff people like Disney has also talked about doing like a Wakanda themed land.
Uh huh.
Which like so imagine like a Wakanda themed land, like with a Wakanda themed like shopping area, and maybe a Wakanda restaurant or Wakanda hotel. Like that would be amazing. Like
Uh huh. Yeah, all the tech,
yeah,
all the stuff they could do with that would be incredible.
yeah. And the thing is Disney definitely, they still need to like, even though Disney is kind of like the number one place for theme parks and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I mean, like they still have to compete with Universal. I mean, I think Universal is like their biggest competitor.
Yeah.
Um, and so Universal got Harry Potter. Universal got The Simpsons.
Hmm.
Universal is getting a Super Nintendo Land.
They have Transformers,
They've got Transformers.
Terminator,
I mean, Jurassic Park,
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park. Yeah.
World is a big thing again now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Disney definitely needs. I mean, and competition is always good
Hmm.
because then we get stuff like this. But yeah, I think it would be amazing if we got. So at Disneyland specifically, we've got Star Wars and we have Marvel. We have the Marvel Avengers campus that's going to be opening at some point in California Adventure.
Okay.
And that's cool because Florida won't really get anything like that.
Yeah.
Because of the way of the. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Marvel amusement park characters.
I know Universal has the
Yes,
Marvel.
Universal has the Marvel characters, and but yes, the way the contract works is Universal has amusement park rights for Marvel character, like for most of the Marvel characters east of the Mississippi River.
Uh-huh.
So like that's like, and it's mostly like it's like their major ones. It's Spider-Man, Captain America, X-Men characters.
Yeah.
And like it's really weird because it's like specifies east of the Mississippi River,
Uh-huh.
which like I wasn't aware like it was still a thing that like people used.
Right.
But yeah, so that's why California, west of the Mississippi River, we have the Avengers campus opening up. We have meet and greets with Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor, and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And so we already have a Guardians of the Galaxy ride in California Adventure.
Hmm. And they can't do that in Florida until that contract is up, right?
Right, and I don't know how I haven't looked at the contract in a very long time. I don't know how it works, but I think basically as long as Universal keeps using the Marvel characters, then they still have the rights to them.
Right.
But like that, there is something where Florida is getting a Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think Florida will get a they can't do a Spider-Man ride. They can't do a Captain America or anything like that because Universal owns the rights for that.
Okay.
And like Universal literally has a Spider-Man ride.
Yeah. I went on a lot of those. I don't know
Yeah.
if I went on the Spider-Man one. I think that one's new, fairly new. But yeah, that's cool. The idea of making it more immersive is something that I really enjoy because that's what you go to those parks for.
Yes.
And just their focus on expanding and also like creating a more immersive experience basically from the moment you enter your hotel room in some cases.
Yeah.
You won't skip a heartbeat, just
Yeah. And I think that's what Florida does better than Disneyland does.
uh-huh.
Is like, oh yeah, here like you check in, here is your magic bands, here whatever, and
the monorail to whatever park you want.
Yeah, or like I mean like when I've only been to Florida once, but like it was awesome where it's just like, oh okay, like here are the 6 shuttles that can take you to the different parks.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to worry about that at all.
Right.
Disneyland is obviously a different beast because like of their lack of land that they have compared to Florida.
Yeah.
But like I think part of that makes them make more creative solutions for it. But yeah, I think it'd be really cool. Like going forward, Disney, it says right here, going forward, Disney is looking for a mixed use flexibility. On the same parcel, you'd have a hotel entertainment as opposed to two different parcels.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be like super cool if you could have like a hotel, but like in the middle of it is like a themed shopping area that is just Star Wars. You have the Star Wars hotel and then like a shopping area outpost type thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Or like a Marvel, like a New York City style land that has like a hotel in it and like Marvel characters.
Uh-huh. Like the
So like you could
Marvel,
have like,
the Avengers base or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you could have characters just walking around
Mm-hmm.
in that. And then like you could do like events where it's like, oh no, Green Goblin's here, and like Spider-Man's like, don't worry, I'll save him. But like just like as you're walking up and down, like on this area that's like a shopping area or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Or like yeah, like just imagine like you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And whatever, and like while you're in the middle of the restaurant, like people come in and they're like, nobody move, this is a stick up. Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, we're being robbed in the middle of like at the restaurant, and then like, oh, don't worry, Captain America comes and just knocks them out, and like, enjoy your lunch, citizens.
It's almost like have you seen Westworld?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like that, but like not creepy.
Yeah. Not there's no hookers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that in real people or
Yeah,
like hologram. They've been doing a lot of tech stuff in their rides where they have like the holographic
yeah,
characters.
yeah. Have you seen the Spider-Man like animatronic that they're going to use in the ride
No,
or in the land? So
I
like
bet it's awesome.
Spider-Man, there's going to be an animatronic Spider-Man that is going to web sling
That's
in the
cool.
park. I will send you the link for it after we're done with this.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah,
Sounds awesome.
it's really cool.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I think now that I understand it a little bit better, I didn't really know what was happening.
Yeah. So the big thing to take away from this is nothing is actually happening right now.
Uh-huh.
This is Disney saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool if the city laxed some of its zoning laws on us?
Mm-hmm.
And if they did, we could do stuff like this.
Right.
So this is kind of Disney kind of both asking the city, but then asking us on behalf of Disney to ask the city
Uh-huh.
to loosen up their zone laws.
Right.
But yeah, I
Or they
think
might move to Texas. I'm just kidding.
Could you imagine Disney's just like, fine, we're out of here, and then like rockets like launch like Disneyland off the ground?
That'd be awesome.
We're going to Oklahoma because we just bought all of Oklahoma
because we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, I got some questions for you to
let's do it.
Finish off this episode.
Yeah. Let's do like one or two questions.
Okay. I got two pretty quick questions and kind of a longer question. I'll save that for next time.
Sure.
All right.
Whatever you want to do.
So the first question is shard blade or lightsaber?
Oh man. Personally, I would go with the shard blade.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, and the only reason why I can answer this question so quickly is because I've actually thought about this before.
Okay, cool. I figured you had.
Yeah. I just see a shard blade having all the benefits of a lightsaber, but you can't ever lose your shard blade.
Right. That's a really good point.
Yeah, basically there's nothing a shard blade can do, or a lightsaber can do that a shard blade can't do.
Mm-hmm.
But you can always summon and dismiss your shard blade.
Right. It just dissipates when you drop it or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But spoiler alert for Star Wars Light Archive. So spoilers 3, 2, 1. I do feel a little bad that that they're essentially dead Spren that you're summoning.
Right.
Stuff like that. But, I can get over it.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to go into more depth on I'll give you like a scenario. We'll do a cage match.
Yeah,
fight
for sure.
With certain characters, and you can give me a rundown of who would win. All right.
Yeah.
The last question I have for today, and this is one that I'm very curious about because I know they exist in the same universe, but also in different universes cinematically. Which metal is stronger, vibranium or adamantium?
Oh wait, hold on. I'm getting confused. Adamantium is stronger than vibranium.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. Vibranium.
Can they both be mined? Where do they come from?
I know that that Wolverine has clawed up Cap's shield.
Okay. And that's made out of vibranium, right?
Okay, wait, hold on. So the difference: vibranium is rare earth metal, but is believed to be extraterrestrial in origins.
Okay.
Adamantium is an artificially synthesized metal. After the success of using vibranium, tried to recreate the process of bonding steel and vibranium, but was unsuccessful.
Okay. Yeah, because vibranium was, they have like a bunch of it in like the Wakanda area.
Yeah, so they're kind of similar, but they do different things at the same time.
Okay.
Right? So vibranium can absorb the like the force, the kinetic energy or the sound wave or anything like that.
So they channeled it into Black
Yeah.
Panther's suit and made that big shock wave.
Right. But like adamantium is essentially indestructible.
Okay. Cool.
Like it can survive like nuclear blasts and stuff like that.
Right.
Well,
cool. Well, that answers my question.
Yeah, that was a good question. One that I kind of caught me off guard for a second.
Yeah, I was wanting to know that because I know adamantium is, Wolverine's claws, and then you have vibranium, which is very common in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. You have Winter Soldier's arm.
So I think
shield.
Yeah, I think when we see Wolverine come into the MCU, they'll kind of explain adamantium a little more.
Yeah.
And like I think they'll just be like, we couldn't afford vibranium or like a lot of vibranium, so we took some vibranium, some other stuff, and we mixed this new ally together.
Right.
All right, now I'm gonna leave you with the question right now, Mitch.
Okay.
Mitch, you don't have to answer it, but we'll bring it up next week.
Okay.
What happens if a Mistborn swallows either vibranium or adamantium?
Oh man, that's a great question.
Yeah.
All right, I'll ponder on that.
Yeah, ponder on that one.
And yeah, maybe I'll tweet.
All right, guys. Yeah, this has been the Moderately Interesting Podcast,
and
episode 2.
Thank
Attack
you.
of the Podcasts.
Attack of the Podcasts.
Attack of the Podcasts. Thank you for listening, everyone. Next week, we are going to talk about Snyderverse, Snyder Cut. We're going to kind of go back into that a little more. We're going to talk a little bit about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3. We're going to talk a little bit about a video game franchise that I both love and hate, Kingdom Hearts. And we're going to talk about a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
So
usually something will pop up this week, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So
please join us next week for the Moderately Interesting Podcast. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Mitch.
See you guys later.